Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from Superman to Star Wars and everything in between. My name is Aidan, and I hope that you're doing well today. This is Season 3, Episode 15, and today we're going to be discussing what if Doctor Who had ended with the 13th Doctor. Now, if you didn't know, Doctor Who is one of my favorite shows, and I recently did a rewatch of it. It took me a while to finish it, but I'm happy that I did. And there were originally only supposed to be 13 Doctors, and because the writers and producers wanted the show to go on longer so that they could make more money off of it, they changed that so that there could be infinite numbers of Doctors. But I want to do a thought experiment to sort of fit with the original idea put forth in the 4th Doctor episode, The Deadly Assassin, which originated this concept that Time Lords only have 13 lives. So there are a few caveats for this to work. Obviously, Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, and Chris Chibnall, the modern head writers, would not have to change regeneration to make the Doctor, to change the Doctor's life cycle and history, but also the behind-the-scenes drama that led to Christopher Eccleston, who played the 9th Doctor, leave after one season. That would not happen in this, because for this to work, he would have to return for the 50th anniversary like originally Stephen Moffat wanted him to, but he decided against it because he's like, nah, I don't want to go through that again. And Stephen's like, sure, sorry, of course. So they had to create a new 9th Doctor called the War Doctor, played by Sir John Hurt. And I loved Sir John Hurt as the War Doctor. It's just that for this to work, he could not have played the Doctor in this timeline. And also, the 10th Doctor's meta-crisis regeneration does not happen. And Russell T Davies still returns to write the 60th anniversary. It's just that it has a darker tone, and it features the 13th Doctor, and her final episode, The Power of the Doctor, is the fixed point at the end of the show. It's just that it's pushed back till after the 60th anniversary. Also, the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master are still the villains in her final episode, and after the show would end, we would still have expanded universe material such as novels, comic books, Big Finish audiobooks, and video games. It's just that the Power of the Doctor would be the canonical end of the show, so everything would be leading up to that. And the Timeless Child arc would not have happened in this timeline either. It's not my favorite story arc, but I do appreciate trying to tie it into the history of the show. And also, in the actual final episode, we did see Peter Davison return as the 5th Doctor as like a hallucination, along with Colin Baker as the 6th, Sylvester McCoy as the 7th, and Paul McGann as the 8th, and we had the recasted David Bradley as the 1st Doctor, because William Hartnell, the original actor, obviously died in the 70s, so they couldn't bring him back. But also, speaking on Paul McGann, in this alternate universe, we see in his mini-episode, The Night of the Doctor, instead of him regenerating into John Hurt, he regenerates into Christopher Eccleston, because Christopher might have stayed on for another season, but then he comes back for the 50th, and that Night of the Doctor to see how Paul McGann regenerated into him. And, so the things that would change in the Power of the Doctor, aside from all of that backstory, we would see Tom Baker return as the 4th Doctor, as like the hallucination, along with Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Peter Capaldi as the previous iterations of the Doctor. And we would also see River Song, the Doctor's second wife, make an appearance to say goodbye to her wife. And we would see Susan, who is the Doctor's granddaughter, return to say goodbye to her grandmother. And yeah, so the 60th anniversary, like I said, would come in between the Sea Devil's return and the Power of the Doctor, and we would see Donna return in the 60th anniversary like she did in our universe. I haven't seen those 3 episodes yet, the 60th anniversary or the new season at the time of recording, but I do know that Donna returns and that they do bring back a couple of previous villains, so that would still happen. It's just that it would be with Jodie Whittaker. And also, the 13th Doctor would still lament that she doesn't get to go on any more adventures, and in the end she and the Master kill each other, and like in the original timeline, the Doctor would get in her TARDIS, fly away, and go to a cliff and overlook the sunset as she dies. It's just this time she doesn't regenerate. So that would be the main thing. Also, one final plot point that I wanted to add, even though the episode was already pretty long, but it needed to be, but just adding a couple more minutes would be if the Doctor would go to the group therapy session that her former companions had, say goodbye to her friends, and then she goes and fights the Master and dies, or have that happen just as she's about to die. But a quick stop off before she goes to the cliff. But yeah, that is what if Doctor Who had ended with the 13th Doctor. Again, this is just a thought experiment, and let me know if you guys agree with me or tell me I'm an idiot. And if you're new to my podcast and want to hear more episodes like this, or stuff about Star Wars, Star Trek, Superman, Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, Spawn, please subscribe, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, The National Timely Action Hour, where I review comic books and video games and TV shows and movies. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.